Learn how tonight President Obama plans to discuss his future plan of action. And how you can be affected if you fail to pay up during tax season. Good evening and welcome to NAZ Today. I'm Imani Payne. Thanks for tuning in. Now tonight, President Barack Obama will deliver the annual State of the Union address to Congress, his fifth such speech where he will be discussing his plan of action for the coming year. Included will be what the president refers to as practice proposals, a plan to advance the country in 2014, addressing things such as income inequality and our current immigration system. Obama is also expected to press Congress to extend long-term unemployment benefits while continuing to push Americans to see the benefits of Obamacare, despite the website's rocky start. Now, a lot is riding on the president's remarks tonight, as his address is expected to be seen around 30 million viewers at home alone. And here in Flagstaff, many business and nonprofit leaders are anxious to hear the president's State of the Union speech. Now, NAZ's Nancy Harrison sat down with the president and CEO of the Flagstaff United Way, who shares her agency's plan to help push the president's agenda regarding early education.
Hello, and thank you for joining us. This evening, as you might be aware, President Barack Obama will be offering his State of the Union address, and there are a number of issues that we need to look at. With us today is Jill Briggs of the United Way, and first off, we're going to talk about early education.
Right.
Early education from kindergarten through 12th grade has always been a hot button. What are you hoping that the president states in his address tonight?
I hope that he talks about early education and its importance to the entire nation. Early education is so necessary when it comes to children entering school ready to learn, when it comes to long-term academic success, when it comes to a young person's ability to enter higher education or workforce ready to become a contributing member of society. So I'm really hoping he emphasizes the need for early education across our nation.
Well, this is a big issue. As you and I know, over the years, various presidents, administrations have addressed this issue, and everybody keeps trying. Do you think that we've been making any headway?
Well, you know, it's hard to say. There has been a lot of research done recently that really does support the necessity for early education. Mm-hmm. Is it available to every child? Absolutely not. In fact, here in Coconino County, let's see, about 54% of children enter kindergarten ready to learn. So that means that almost half of our children are entering kindergarten not ready to learn. And that's as a consequence of not having quality early learning programs available to them.
Well, and it's not only up to the schools or teachers to reach out to the kids. So much of this comes down to the parents, as we know, being parents.
That's right.
So what message do you have to parents to say to get involved and help your child be successful?
Well, you know, it's not only parents, it's an entire community. But if you are a parent of a newborn up to age 5, please read to your child. Please engage your child in conversation. When we talk about children not entering kindergarten ready to learn, some of the greatest issues are being able to recognize letters of the alphabet, being able to recognize rhyming words, being able to negotiate conflict with peers. So if you know that as a parent, provide opportunities, you know, provide nursery rhymes. It's so much fun to sing songs with your child, and that helps them recognize those rhyming words. Help them with letters of the alphabet, and then provide opportunities for them to socialize with children the same age they are, so that when they enter that classroom, they know a little bit about social interaction. And then if you're not a parent, you can still be an advocate.
Okay. Thank you so much, Jill. Appreciate you joining us. Good evening.
Flagstaff City Council discusses water this week. Our future water supply needs infrastructure development, and how will the city accommodate demand from outside city limits? Kimberly Kraft met with Flagstaff Mayor Jerry Neighbors to find out more.
Welcome, Mr. Mayor. It's good to see you.
Always a pleasure.
We're responding right away to this article that was published that expresses a wish list from the City Council, but you say it's a little inaccurate?
It's a wish list or to-do list. It was actually just some agenda items that we were trying to see if there was a consensus of council to even put these on an agenda to have any further action. So I wouldn't really call that our to-do list. If we have a to-do list, and it's about 4 pages.
Yeah.
So these are just a few of some of the more just items to see, do we want to move forward with them or not?
Well, it's your job. Come on,
Yeah,
Jerry,
sure.
it's
We
your
gotta
job.
keep putting things on the table, absolutely.
And what's on the table tomorrow or today, actually, is the water policy.
Water policy, which we have worked on for a couple of different council meetings to just discuss and see what kind of policy decisions and issues are there. And for example, will we provide water and sewer and reclaimed water to a business or a property outside the city limits? And what if we get to the point where we have more people wanting reclaimed water than we have reclaimed water to sell? That could happen in the summer. And who has first dibs on the water, and what will the rate be, and should reclaimed water be a certain amount less than potable water? We want people to use reclaimed water, so we don't want it to be discouraged by price, but we're dealing with those issues this council meeting.
And there's also an issue about requiring a property to annex into the city if, in fact, they are requiring that water and sewer.
If they want our water and sewer, then we're asking them to agree to annex if and when they can. Now, there are some properties that, for legal reasons, they don't meet the requirements for annexation right now, but they may in the future. So in the future, we're asking you to come on into the city if you want our water and sewer service.
So what's the feeling on the council? I mean, where's the cost benefit here?
Well, of course, we want to sell reclaimed water, because otherwise you're just running it down the creek. And we want people to use reclaimed water in place of potable water if possible, so that saves potable water. And in the summer, it's easy to sell reclaimed water, but in the winter, the golf courses don't use it. So,
Well, there's certainly a lot of issues that we will follow up with you at another time, but I want to thank you for coming in today.
okay, my pleasure, always.
Tresta Tedrick brings you more tax tips coming up. What was that video of?
Modern Grove Neighborhood Eatery and Market defines the heartbeat of our local community by bringing together the food and families that call it home. Modern Grove, located on South Milton Road, open daily from 7 a.m. to 10 p.m. Come enjoy the aroma and taste of our homemade bread, pizzas, and much more. Sit outside on our patio for a relaxing afternoon beverage.
Welcome back. Now we continue with our tax tips. Tresta Tedrick sat down with federal agent Brian Watson, who tells us what can happen if you don't pay your taxes.
So I'm here with Special Agent Brian Watson, and he is a federal agent, and we're talking about the criminal side of if you don't pay your taxes, what's going to happen?
Yeah, well, most people are familiar with the civil side of IRS, but we're the criminal side. We're the law enforcement side. We're the ones that go after people that willfully don't pay their taxes. Think Al Capone back in the old days. But currently, a recent case that we had was Rick Renzi. We had the former congressman from Northern Arizona, and that was a fraud and wire fraud case. We're also involved in drug cases and a wide variety of things like that.
So you go after the bad guys in particular, but what happens if someone is not necessarily trying to be bad, but then they just get caught up in the situation?
Well, we have to show intent. So if someone just makes a small mistake on their return, transposes a number, you don't go to jail for that. You go to jail for hiding your money intentionally, creating a second set of books, moving money offshore to another country trying to avoid the taxes. We're looking for the most egregious examples, and that's the kind of cases that lands people in jail.
So you're armed right now, right? Like there is a gun on you right here in the
Yes.
studio.
Yes.
Because you're a federal agent now, do you go out and chase people in the situation, or what happens in your case?
We do. I mean, we execute search warrants, so we'll bang on a door, knock on the door, go inside. Sometimes we have to arrest people. Sometimes we do surveillances, but we follow around drug dealers, people involved in a lot of illicit activity. So we're basically trained like police officers. We have to be able to protect ourselves.
So you're not the kind of person I want at my door if I'm a good citizen, right? Paying my taxes?
Absolutely not. But most of 95% of the people we deal with are on a friendly basis because they're employees, they're friendly witnesses.
All right, well, thank you, Brian, for coming into the studio today, and I really hope you don't get on your bad side in that situation.
All right, kind of two different looking days out there. A very cloudy morning this morning, then it was all sunshine out there this afternoon. That'll continue into the overnight hours. A little bit cooler than where we were the last couple days. High temperatures around Flagstaff in the low 50s. Still well above the average of low mid 40s for this time of year. Obviously, it's been warm around here for the last month and very dry. We're tracking that dry streak that goes all the way back to December 22nd. Today, day 38 of no precipitation here in Flagstaff. Second longest dry streak in the winter in 115 years. Longest 39 days. So if we make it through tomorrow, which we will on Wednesday, we will tie the long-standing record of 39 days without any winter precipitation. That was set back in 1917. If we make it through Thursday, we will break the infamous record, and there's a little bit of a chance we won't make it all the way till 40 days. We'll talk about that in a second. January been a very warm one. Huge jet stream across the western United States. Look at these temperature departures. Nearly 5 degrees above average for the month of January so far in LA and Anchorage, Alaska. Almost 13 degrees above average. A completely different story along the East Coast where all the cold air has been moving in. Everybody's way below average, and they're way above average in snow too. It's record-breaking snow. Places like Chicago, Detroit, Toledo, nearly 3-4 feet of snow in that neck of the woods. Well, it's been a completely different and dry story for us across the West Coast. And that's what's happening out there today. If we take a look at what's going on across the nation, very quiet across the west. We get into the east. They had a big, messy snow and ice storm all the way down, seeing snow near New Orleans today. Very cold across the eastern United States. Still in that same pattern. High pressure out west, low pressure out east. We are looking for a little bit of a pattern change here by the time we get into midweek. We switch it out to the Pacific, and there's this high pressure centered off California. But these areas of low pressure, weak one's going to start to break down that high pressure. And come late Thursday into early Friday, it looks like we're going to see a weak storm system move through. Windy day on Thursday with some very light rain showers across the northern half of the state early Friday morning. And that's what it's looking like. Maybe a little snow early Friday in Flagstaff as the snow line drops down just briefly into town. Not looking for any accumulation and very light precipitation. Okay, 19 degrees overnight for us tonight. Warm day out there on Wednesday, 56 degrees. Things will start to change, as I mentioned, as we get into Thursday and through the coming weekend. Much cooler temperatures with weak storm systems moving through. 70 Sedona Wednesday, 65 in Prescott. Here's a look at that extended forecast. Windy on Thursday, a little bit of precip early Friday. Cool temperatures into the coming weekend. Amani, back over to you.
Well, thanks for that update, Lee, and thank you all at home so much for tuning in. And now I leave you with this video of the Clark telescope being pulled out of Lowell Observatory. We will have a more detailed look at the rehabilitation process on tomorrow's show. Have a good evening.